Hey everybody. So today I got a really good question, and it's a question with a slightly complicated answer and not an exactly clear-cut answer, but that question was, what should I cook with? Should I cook with olive oil or coconut oil? Because there seem to be a lot of differing opinions. So today I'm going to tell you how to answer that question and which one of those you should choose. So when you're cooking with an oil, there are three things that you should think about. And these three things are all equally important. I actually think the third one's the most important, so stay tuned for that one. But the first one is the smoke point. And with both coconut oil and olive oil, the smoke point varies a lot. So if you don't know, you have refined olive oil, you have refined coconut oil, you have extra virgin olive oil, you have virgin coconut oil, and the difference mainly is how much those coconut or olive oils are processed. And depending on how much they're processed, the smoke point will change a lot. So I couldn't stand here and tell you that there's a single smoke point for all extra virgin olive oils, or there's a single smoke point for all refined coconut oils, because they actually do differ. They tend to stay within a range. But the easiest way for you to know that is actually to buy whatever coconut or olive oil you're going to buy, and if you cook with it and it starts to smoke, that's a bad thing. And that's the first way you should judge an oil, because if an oil is smoking, it means that the fats in that oil, which are made up of fatty acids and glycerols, which is essentially a carbohydrate component, they're starting to break down. And what happens is when an oil starts to break down, it starts to smoke because the glycerol and certain other components in that oil will start to burn. And that's really bad for you because it'll cause things like advanced glycation end products, advanced lipidation end products, and those things will actually be bad for your body. So that's the first way to judge it. And I can't tell you to begin with that olive oil or coconut oil are necessarily better, because it's going to depend on what kind of olive or coconut oil that you have. Now the second way to judge it, and this is an area that coconut oil comes out ahead, is the fact that coconut oil is higher in saturated fats and it's very low in both omega-6 and omega-3 fats, which means that the ratio is pretty good. Now, olive oil is higher in monounsaturated fats, still pretty low in omega-6 and omega-3 fats, but not quite as good because it's slightly higher in omega-6 fats and the ratio is not great. It's about 10 to 1 for omega-6 to omega-3. Now let me tell you why this is important. This is important because any oil is going to be more or less stable. So what that means is that fats get oxidized. That is, they have oxygen atoms added to those fats. And that's important because smoke is not, when an oil breaks down, sorry, I can't say this very well, when an oil breaks down and it starts to smoke, that's one bad thing that can happen. But even before it gets to that smoke point, other bad things can happen, and that is oxygen can be added to these fats, which is called oxidizing the fats. And what that does is it changes the chemical structure of the fats and makes those fats less useful for your body. So that's one thing that can happen. And the second thing that's part of this second part is that if an oil is higher in polyunsaturated fats, which in these cases are mostly omega-6 fats, then that does a couple of things. One, it makes it more likely to oxidize, and two, it means that you're getting more omega-6 fats, which are more inflammatory in your body in general. And there's a whole host of reasons that we could go into why that's the case, but in general, it's best to stick with saturated fats for cooking. Monounsaturated fats are a close second because they're still pretty stable, and then a distant third are polyunsaturated fats. So in the realm of things, coconut oil, very high in saturated fats, tends to be anywhere between 92 to 96%, usually around 95, and olive oil tends to be a lot more monounsaturated fat, at least half or so, and so that's the reason that coconut oil is going to be better, because it's going to be more stable. Now those are the two reasons, the first two reasons, that is, the first one, smoke point, something you have to test out for yourself. Second one, stability, coconut oil comes out ahead, but olive oil is not that bad. Third, most important reason, how's it taste? And this is something that you can't ignore, because as much as we want to be healthy, these two oils actually come out pretty close. And you know what? If you want the olive oil flavor in something, then you should cook with it. Because as much as I love coconut oil, there's certain dishes that just call for an olive oil. And even if you think it's slightly less healthy because it's not quite as stable, then you need to go with that sometimes, because it's going to make your life more enjoyable, your food tastier, and your overall experience much better. You're going to be happier and you're going to be less stressed, which is also healthy. So those are the 3 points. I think personally I cook most things in coconut oil. I use olive oil when I want that little bit of extra added olive oil flavor, but in general both healthy fats, both easy to cook with. Stick to coconut oil in general, go with olive oil when you want it. So that's my take on the olive oil versus coconut oil debate, and I'd love to hear in the comments below what you have to say, what oils you use, what you think's better. Also, remember to like the video below and also to subscribe. We come out with new videos every Monday and Wednesday, so stay tuned.